Welcome to New Business in Later Life, where we prove that it's never too late to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. You will meet remarkable individuals who launch successful businesses over 50, sharing their stories, challenges, and enthusiasm. Your host, Ildiko, is a former social housing professional, textile designer, and teacher who described herself as a life artist. She is now a property professional, business network host, and facilitator of the Entrepreneurs Club. Subscribe now to hear these inspiring stories every week.
Hi everybody, I would like to welcome Jan Cassells to the hot seat today. Hello Jan, welcome to the show.
Hi Ildiko.
Tell us what your newest business is.
I have joined a network marketing business called Oriflame and set up my own little capsule of that called Beauty from the Inside Out.
That sounds beautiful. And could you please reveal to us how old were you when you set up this new business?
So I started last year and I was 70 last year, but I'm now 71.
That is truly awesome and really inspiring and absolutely beautifully fits in with what I would like to present to our audience is that it's never too late to start up a new business in later life. I mean, look at you. You don't look a day older, 25.
Well,
you certainly don't look
27.
70 anyhow. You certainly don't look 70. I can say that. You look absolutely beautiful and very youthful. And I, for one, know that Oriflame is about beauty products. So I assume it's probably helping you too.
Absolutely. But we also do wellness products as well. So the supplements combined with the beauty products.
Ah, cool. So in the first instance, would you like to tell us a little bit about Oriflame, please?
Okay, so Oriflame is a Swedish company. It was founded by two brothers in 1967. Here in the UK, we've just celebrated the 55th anniversary. I mean, I can remember it from the 70s and 80s for definite. It's gone on so much more since the initial sort of stages because they now do a lot of research. They have their own laboratories. They've won several awards year after year after year for caring for the environment. None of the products that we use damages the waterways or any creatures.
So is that all organic?
It's not all organic.
Okay.
We do have the organic ranges. We do have the vegan ranges. But some of them might have, say, beeswax in or something like that. So it's not. So obviously we can only certify what is 100%. But it's very much plant-based. It's very much, they like to say it's inspired by nature and powered by science.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty cool.
The premium skincare range is under a brand of Novage, and we have several patents, anti-aging patents within that. So you cannot buy our type of skincare anywhere else.
And you also already mentioned that in addition to beauty products, there are health products as well. Would you like to touch on those a little bit as well?
Well, this was very important for me when I was looking around for something because my background is I was a medical herbalist and a nutritional therapist. So I was looking for something that also had really good quality, clinically proven supplements. We do have also the weight loss and the fitness ranges as well.
Are you sort of going into every area to promote yourself, or are you sticking with just a couple of areas?
I've actually got my background. I'm able to talk to people about their health. Normally, any kind of, shall we say, health and well-being representative is not allowed to touch on that without medical training. So at least I can talk to people about their health and recommend the correct supplements. And I would sort of ask them, what medication they're taking and things like that. I have touched on a little bit of weight loss with people, but fitness is definitely not in my. I don't go to the gym. I don't do an awful lot.
Oh, bless you. But it's really good to hear. And it is so important for people to know who are thinking about going into new business that you have a wealth of experience you bring with you from your former life, whether it would be corporate or other businesses, that you can just adopt into any new ventures and adventures. Which
Yeah.
actually leads me nicely onto the next question that was in my head is, would you like to tell us in as great a detail as you wish what your working background is and what eventually led you to be an Oriflame agent?
I would say that in my early years, it was definitely admin, office work, that kind of thing. And then I was rather late in life when I had my son. I was 35 when he was born. And at the time, and I won't go into too much detail, but I was in an abusive marriage. And so it was very much a case of when he came home from work, me and Robert would be very tense and he would cry. And so I wanted something that took us out of the house at tea time. So I became an Avon lady.
Oh,
And a lot of new mums do.
yeah. And so Oriflame is nothing new to you, really. Interesting.
No. And because I was taking Robert with me, I think I became very popular and I progressed.
Is it better or worse having a child with you than a puppy?
Oh, good one. I'm not quite sure about that, but certainly if you're thinking about being an Avon lady or an Oriflame lady, take a child or a puppy. That's a good idea.
I don't do children. I do dogs. I love dogs. My husband, especially since my dog passed, my dog actually calls me a dog botherer because I stop and stroke every single dog that comes my way.
Oh, I think I was more of a cat person. Anyway, so I went for several years because I wanted to stay at home with Robert. So I did I did Avon for a lot of years, and then I progressed to Body Shop at home and started doing Body Shop parties. Very lucky to meet Dame Anita Roddick on several occasions. She's the founder of the Body Shop.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And I won a day out at her home at a garden party, and she came to talk to me personally.
Awesome.
I know. And she said, what is your dream? And I said, well, I had a dream because you've brought out the Ayurveda range and it's made me very interested in herbal medicine and nutrition. So my dream would be to open a clinic or a holistic health centre one day. And she said, what's stopping you, Jann? And I said,
a true entrepreneur, isn't she then? Yes. Who's in your way, if not yourself?
So I said to her, one, I'm too old. At the time, I was 49. I'm too old. I have no...
I'm sorry to laugh at you, but here we are. You are 70 and just was 71, started up a new business. Yeah,
it's all down to Dame Anita Roddick, I can tell you. Secondly, I have no qualifications. And third, I have no money. And do you know what she said to me?
Go on.
She said, one, you are never too old until you're in your grave. Two,
yes.
Two, if you have no qualifications, get off your backside and go and get some.
Get some.
And three, do what I did and find somebody to back you, to invest in you.
Superb advice, isn't it? Can I just ask you a quick question before you carry on? You said you were very successful with your parties. Was it because you had a good circle of colleagues, friends, or was it because you were just really quite open and outgoing and bold and asked people? Or how did it come about? How did you progress?
Well, actually, at the time when I first started, I lived over in West Yorkshire. And by this time, I was divorcing my ex-husband. And I moved out to North Lincolnshire whilst I was with the Body Shop at home. And I knew nobody.
Oh, wow.
When I came out. Yeah. So I had to literally get to know people at school and what have you. And I think I set off with 4 parties. And then just from there, I just booked parties from parties until I grew. And then I became a senior area manager. I was recruiting and training.
Wow. How long did it take you to get to that stage?
I think within a year, I'd started building a team. And then I was approached by the body shop at home and said, we'd like you to become senior area manager for the area. Could you handle extra team? So I said, yeah.
Is it like a bit of a pyramid scheme?
Oh, do I hate that? This is so familiar because everybody thinks that network marketing is a pyramid scheme. And it's not. No.
Okay. Would you care to enlighten me? Clearly, I have absolutely no idea.
There was pyramid schemes around in the 50s and 60s, and it involved a scam, really. So somebody would have, say a crate of bottles of water.
Okay.
And they say, Ildiko, I'm going to sell you this for £1. And you go, oh, great. And here's the business side of it. You sell it on for £1.50. So that's how it worked. So the next person then sold it to £1.50. Then they were told to sell that same product on for £2. So there wasn't really a business involved. There wasn't really products involved. It was one item that was being sold on and on. And
no wonder that when it got found out properly, then it became illegal. Oh, okay. So then how does network marketing compare? So I'm probably a little bit more familiar with it, but I've never ever done any sales I've never been involved with any of these companies. I always felt like I can't do sales, but so please explain it to me.
Well, if you think about any manufacturing company, you've got the CEO of the company at the top, then you've got a board of directors, then you've got senior management, then you might have office managers and factory managers and that kind of thing. Then you might have factory line supervisors.
Okay.
Then you've got the workers.
Okay.
Does that sound like a pyramid?
So far, I'm with you.
Okay. So that's usually it. But the chances of that worker becoming a CEO is non-existent. If that worker works hard, they got in early enough, they've got a good reputation with their line managers and the managers, they might be able to progress up to a certain couple of levels. The thing with network marketing is...
Do you have a chance of becoming a CEO of Oriflame?
Yes.
You do?
But in a different way.
Okay.
So everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody starts and I'll use our company just as a baseline. We start as a brand partner, and as we build up our customers, we might become a brand partner silver. And then you might go to the next level because you've been doing it for a while and people have started booking parties. So your sales are going up. And now one or two people might think, I want to join your team. I want to be trained by you. I want to be mentored by you. And so you start to build. So each time you can go up. So I've already gone up brand partner bronze, silver, gold, platinum. I'm now team manager, and I've done that in 6 months.
Wow.
But I have had past experience.
True,
so
true, yeah.
Back before I became a herbalist anyway. And then I can go on to be senior team manager and then director. So everybody that comes into network marketing is repaid for the effort, the time that they put in. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Absolutely not. You have to put time and effort in. You've got to have passion for the products. You've got to have belief that the system works. And the network marketing module, the way of business absolutely does work. Hard workers can climb.
But what always sounds a bit weird to me is that you start earning, so everybody at every level earns commission on everybody else. And it's kind of like, hang on a minute. So is that why the products are potentially so expensive because just so many levels of people need to earn commission in this whole network.
Can I just say that our products start at £1.50.
Okay.
Our soap. There might be £2.50 for the soaps, but we have so many products that are under £5 and under £10. It's unbelievable. Right, let me just also dispel a myth. And I don't forget, I started my career in sales and admin. Every single sales manager earns commission on what their sales force sell. It doesn't matter whether it's food, furniture, office.
Anything and everything that ever in this world gets manufactured, at every single stage that it gets sold on, up to the customer, everybody earns a level of commission.
No, in the corporate structure, you paid a wage. So if you're making the products, you get a wage. However, you might get a bonus if you work harder and produce more than the normal weekly amount.
Yeah.
The sales manager will be given targets to meet. And if his sales force sells an excess amount of products or articles, then he will get a bonus. So it's like commission. All sales is not easy. So there's always a carrot dangled. Aim for that.
Yeah, I suppose, because there are sticks anyway, because as you said, you have to work. Money doesn't just happen upon us. It just how we deliver that work, whether we're going to get paid less or more or exponential. Yeah. But yeah, there is always a carrot, isn't there?
But what I would say is the type of people that I look for in my team is I don't actually want salespeople, if that makes sense. No, honestly, because a salesperson you think of as the smarmy, talk you into it whether you want it or not. I personally train my team to be problem solvers,
Yeah. I think I'll tell you what, since I've been in property for about nearly 3 years, I've done a lot of mindset and property training. And indeed, this very theme, what you've just mentioned, is the point is that you solve people's problems.
Yeah.
And you don't just say, oh, can you come and invest with me X amount of money so I can go and buy that house and make a huge profit? It's not the point. The point is that I'll inject TLC in that property. I then make it into an amazing, beautiful, future-proofed, whatever house or room or something for somebody to live in and enjoy.
Yeah.
And then when I remortgaged it, I can give you back your money with a bit of interest. So you win, I win, tenant wins, the property wins, everybody wins. So yeah, I understand what you mean, that it's problem solving all the way.
Working with integrity and authenticity. I could not possibly sell products that I cannot use myself.
Yeah.
Honestly. And the thing is, everybody needs toothpaste and shampoo and soap and shower gel. They don't have to buy the premium skincare, although I personally would recommend it because it does a great job. But,
of course
but I'm not here to sell you what you can't afford, if you see what I mean.
Do you find, funny, you said at the very beginning you started in admin, and my first thought was this sort of really quite cliche kind of thought that don't we all, meaning you're a woman, I'm a woman, I started in admin, is very much a female-led area of work. How do you find these beauty products? You said you worked with Avon and Body Shop and now Oriflame. Is it quite a female-heavy workforce, or do you actually get men coming?
We do. Well, I'm not saying that we did back in the 80s and 90s when I was actually doing the Avon and Body Shop. But now we have a lot of men in the business, and we have a lot of husband and wives or, partners.
Okay. And do those men try and, I don't want to use the word sell, but, when they have house parties, do they actually organize these house parties for their mates, for males, or they organize it for whoever comes along? But the only ones I've been to different makes, occasionally over the years, and it's always been women holding the house party for women. So I've not come across, mind you, I'm this teeny weensy little grain of sand in the sort of beauty
Great scheme of things.
because I really don't use much, and I don't use makeup and stuff like that. So I'm really not a good customer, to be honest. But nonetheless, I haven't come across a man. So how do you find?
But you use toothpaste.
Oh yeah, I do, of course, and
shower gel, soap,
breakfast,
perfume.
No, I don't actually. I can't stand sweets.
We don't just do parties, so we work very much online nowadays. It's we're in the modern technology world. Yep. I also put brochures out. I've been out this morning collecting brochures in. I'm going into a nursing home Wednesday, and I'm doing hand massages and I'm using it as a memory lane sort of thing. So, do you remember Oriflame? Oh yes, we remember it in the 80s. What else do you remember about the 80s? Maggie Thatcher, and just generating the conversation and using it as like a social thing.
That is so sweet.
Yeah,
I did something similar. I took part in an art kind of project, and we went into care homes to do art projects with people suffering with dementia. And, it was so incredibly sweet. These ladies just reminiscing about their youth, like decades ago. They can remember that bit, and they would just go over and over the same stories. But still, it was just incredibly sweet listening to them and helping them create these lovely bits of artwork that they then put up on the wall.
Oh, that's fantastic. It really is. But the men, I would say that for the men, it's more about the sport and fitness side, the nutrition side, the men's grooming. We have some fantastic men's grooming. And of course, we have a wide range of fragrances for men and for women. I mean, and sort of based on things like Eau Sauvage and, a lot of the high end fragrances.
Right, lovely. And then you get agents as well as your growing audience of men. I'd love to go to one of these little house parties that is held by a man promoting the beauty products.
I don't think the men do parties.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No. We all run our business to suit how we connect with people. Okay. Some people, I mean, we have people in wheelchairs that are extremely successful that probably never go out. They do it all online.
Oh, I get you. That's so diversity is suddenly really quite an integral part of this business.
Yes, we've absolutely.
That's really quite interesting to hear because I think we just sort of automatically, because that's what's out in the public, we just automatically associate like you said with Avon dropping off catalogs or having the house parties, but there is so much more to it. So in terms of business, which is your bit, which is your thing that really gets you going?
I think my thing is anything in person. So wherever I am, it's when I'm connecting one-on-one. I'm old school. I'm not very good with technology.
But I was going to ask that, does it have anything to do with your age, that you prefer that personal?
Yeah, I think so. Because I know that a lot of my team, the younger team, they're connecting with people on social media and getting really good customers. So I do some, but mine's limited. Mine is more out there in person.
One of the reasons I invited you to the show was seeing your pictures recently from your gala dinner.
Oh, yes,
and,
yes.
It very much came across that it was a green theme, because everybody seems to have worn green evening gowns and outfits. What was the reason for that?
It was the 55th year anniversary in the UK.
Okay, but what's the relation of the green? Is that because the Oriflame colour is green, is it?
Yeah, emerald anniversary.
Of course. Okay, sorry. I'm not quite
So we were wearing emerald green. Yes, it was a fantastic event. Yeah.
That makes every bit of sense. Funny enough, I mean, I do follow the anniversary themes, but I'm only coming up to my 7th wedding anniversary this year. So. And the previous one, I only made it to about 13, no, not quite to 13, 12. But yeah, so I didn't actually get as far as 55. But yeah, that's beautiful actually. And you all looked amazing in your green evening gowns.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, that was lovely. When you talked about Dame Anita giving you some business advice, you were talking about the herbal
Oh, yes,
as
yes.
well. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, so after she gave me that little talking to, I mean, it could have been a coincidence, I don't know, but I did some research and found out that the local university, Lincoln University, had just started a herbal medicine degree course the year before. So I actually joined their second intake, went to university for 3 years and got my BSc with honours degree in herbal medicine, and it was fantastic. And the first year, we're actually with the medical students, the doctors. And then after the first year, the grounding, which we all do together, we then part ways and I go off to do the chemistry of herbs and etc. And I opened my own clinic.
There are no coincidences. I don't know if you believe that, but I had one particular event in my life, and since then, I truly believe that absolutely everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
And one thing sets off another, then it comes on your radar, and then you start concentrating on it, and then suddenly this whole new world opens up in front of you.
Absolutely.
No coincidences. Yeah. And, when they keep telling us that you are exactly where you want to be, and then occasionally you look back at life and it's like, yeah, that is really true. And this sounds very much like one of those moments for me.
Yes, it was. It was pivotal, really.
Amazing. One little conversation. So anyway, you opened your own clinic. That sounds uber exciting. Or was it?
Well, yes and no.
Okay, go on.
So I did what she said. I went off. I got the qualifications. I found the premises. I opened this fabulous clinic, and I went to the local council and I got a loan to sort of kit it out and what have you. The only problem was, so I'm very, very enthusiastic. If I'm going to do something and it ticks all my boxes, I'm 100%. So I was very good at making people better. The thing that I wasn't good at was charging them money. And
dear.
When you're in business for yourself, you need to be able to do that. But my thoughts were to pretend this is a bottle of medicine. So after I did a 2-hour consultation with them, I would mix them a bottle of medicine. They might need some supplements as well. I would give them a diet plan and change their lifestyle a little bit. And then I'd have to add on top of that £50 for my time. And it didn't sit right. So I was very good at making people better. I wasn't very good at making a profit.
At what point did you come to the conclusion that you should bring in some business consultants, or did you?
Well, I had an accountant.
Well, an accountant is not. Well, they all say that they help you grow your business, but they just wonder about whether you can write this and that against tax kind of thing. And I don't know, somehow the business support doesn't always come through.
Well, what I did was, I moved to bigger premises and got some extra rooms. And this was 2006. Okay. Going into 2007, and I had other practitioners renting rooms from me. So we had acupuncture and osteopathy and Reiki and massage and colonic hydrotherapy.
All complementary services. That sounds like a really good combination.
Except the recession hit at the end of 2007.
Of course.
So in 2008, they started either closing their businesses or working from home. So I was left with this clinic with all these rooms, and there was probably 3 or 4 of us trying to make it pay. So again, I then made the decision to downsize and just find a small premises, and it was just me. So I did try other things to try and make a profit. But I still wasn't good at charging people. And what I forgot was, yes, I'm charging them for medicine and supplements, but that money isn't mine. because
No.
I have to buy those in. So it was a very small margin on those. The whole point was I was supposed to charge them for my consultations. And then somebody introduced me to another network marketing business, which was purely supplements. And
Is this the story of your life? Network marketing to network marketing. But then again, you became really good at it. So why not?
well, it was more a case of to bring some extra money in to keep my clinic going, because I really, really enjoyed making people better.
Yeah.
And this particular supplement had a lot of clinical studies on it. So I read all the clinical studies. It took me days to go through it all. And when I was satisfied, I started taking it myself. I then put my mum and my son on them. Everybody was getting fantastic results. So I started using them in my clinic, even cancer patients.
Okay. Remind me what this was, please.
Juice Plus
Juice
capsule.
Plus. Okay.
Juice Plus capsules. It's made from fruits, vegetables, and berries, which for me was herbal medicine in a capsule.
Yeah. Fitted with your values and themes.
Yeah. So I was just, I'd been selling supplements anyway in my clinic. So it was just a new supplement to sell. And I can remember my accountant, I think it was 2012, she said to me, even though you're making some commission and putting it into the clinic, you're not making enough. I know that you were successful in network marketing before. Why don't you actually build a network marketing business and instead of earning hundreds, earn thousands? So I said, but I don't work 50 hours a week in my clinic. She says, that's the whole point, Jan. You're working all these hours and not making any money.
Yes.
Split your time. So I did. I let everybody know that I was going part-time in the clinic, and I built a team. I progressed up the ladder. I was able to pay off all my clinic debts. I gave my son £10,000 towards a deposit on his first house.
Very nice.
And I thought, do you know what? I'm getting to the age, and by this time I was 60. So I thought, for the last few years, I'm going to take away the stress of the clinic overheads, and I'm just going to do a little bit of network marketing. And I did. I did it for a few years, and then I decided to retire.
So when you're starting a new business, and by the sound of it, you started a few over the course of your life, to me, what comes through is a very, very important point that we need to seek business advice.
Absolutely.
About building the business, because then, like you said, you had all the right intentions and you built up your clinic and you had customers. But did anybody ever actually teach you how to run a business, or did you just go instinctively? But as you say, nobody ever taught you how to charge properly. So I think this is. Do you share this with me, that it's a very important message to pass on to people who are thinking about starting a new business at any age, really?
That's a very good point, because I actually went back to Lincoln University and said, the herbal medicine course is fantastic in so much as we know what to do when we get a patient, but you really need to put a module in to just warn people how you can easily get into debt, how you can easily become, unsuccessful because you haven't got the business training.
Nice.
So they need to train on the business side. So anybody going into business, I would say to you, make sure you've got lots of capital to set you off, so that you've got a cash flow before you actually have a successful business.
I don't think it's too bad to go for a business loan for a startup, but I think your most important point you made, and that is amazing that you actually took the effort to go back to the university to say, can you please incorporate some business studies into this of some kind? I'm curious, did you ever find out if they did?
Yes, they did start to.
Oh, wow. That is truly amazing. I think that's really quite a legacy you are leaving behind, that you inspired a university to better their course for the business side as well. That kudos to you on that. But yeah, so not necessarily bad to take out a startup loan, although, yeah, if you can get hold of some capital to start with, it's always better. Although there's two ways of doing it. Somebody else I interviewed in a previous episode, a lady called Jo, she said it's kind of like you have a baby, it's tiny, you nurture it, it grows. And then there's another way, like I did it. I just jumped in and sort of fostered a teenager with all its problems. But then I'm going with it because I have to. And I'm absolutely loving it, like doing this podcast, that is. So, yeah, but yeah, I think business advice at the beginning is super important. And again, another bit I'm taking from you is that you were very much looking at the cost price. And I kind of imagine that by now, over the years, you've learned how to offer a value.
It was actually the industry that I chose, i.e. herbal medicine, because we have the NHS in the UK.
Yeah.
People can go to their doctor for free and pay a small amount for a prescription. And so therefore, the people that believed in herbal medicine as the alternative to going to the doctor were generally the people that couldn't afford to pay a lot.
I think it kind of applies to a lot of things.
And for me, it didn't matter that I wasn't getting a wage. My passion was to help these people and to show them just how powerful herbal medicine was. I mean, I'll give you, for instance, a lady with ME that had tried all sorts of medication and therapies and everything. And she had 3 children, and her life was exhaustion all the time. And, you know, if she did do a bit, she'd be bedridden for a while and what have you. After just a few months of me treating her, she was decorating rooms. Now, she admits she could only do one room at a time, and then she would have to rest for a couple of weeks and just, you know, take it easy. But the fact that she could actually decorate was a huge step for her.
And I've got actually just
lots of stories.
Things. Yeah.
People with cancer. I had one lady who came to me. She had liver cancer, and she'd been given literally months, at the most a year to live. And with my treatment, she lived another 4 years before she started to go downhill again.
On the subject of value price, I recently listened to a book where this lady called Rachel Rogers. So right at the end of the book, this was where she sort of really goes into the depth of value pricing. And the bottom line is that she sort of, obviously throughout the book, she explains how to come up with a side hustle and how to make it into a mainline business and how to price up and earn, why not, even $1 million, pounds, whatever.
Yeah.
And she said, how much better is it when we actually charge for the value? And then when you've got surplus money, then might as well set up a foundation to then help those who can't afford it. And that way, you end up employing a lot of people along the way, and then you can help the poor as well. But when you're keeping yourself poor by not charging.
A great example, a great philosophy, apart from one thing.
Yeah, go on.
The person has to believe in themselves. And if you've got imposter syndrome and feel that you have to strive more and more and more and to prove that you do know things and what have you. And it was my mindset.
Oh my goodness, the key word, absolutely, isn't it? The mindset. And this is, again, another reason why we really ought to get business advice at the beginning. So somebody can help us with that mindset, because way, way, way too many people with entrepreneurial veins suffer with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
They don't believe in themselves. And that is incredibly sad, because they could be doing absolute wonders in this world. So have you come over your imposter syndrome? I think you have, by the sound of it.
These last few years, or maybe decade, I've gone through a lot of self-development and reflection, looking back on life. You get to a certain age and you do. And I wasn't actually looking for Oriflame, but I've moved 3 times in the last 2 years
Gosh,
for
that's exhausting.
different reasons. So I've been busy with that. But I knew that my life, my personality was a little bit erratic. And
all of us a little bit.
Well, yeah. And since I'd retired, I'd tried 1 or 2 things and it just gone nowhere and what have you. Anyway, I got diagnosed. The doctor called me in and I got diagnosed with adult ADHD. And that explained a lot. And it's the kind of ADHD, it's not the typical one. It's the one where I go hyper and then crash, hyper and then crash. But not the depression one. Bipolar, not bipolar.
Okay.
So I'd sort of come to accept this and realize that not everything in my life was meant to pan out. And one day something happened and I made a comment on social media. I had a nice message back, found out that she was actually doing a network marketing and I'd made her day. I'd said something really nice. And I said, oh, well, what is it? And she said, Oriflame. I said, oh, I remember that. Have you got a brochure? And she
Still going.
I'll email you a brochure. I said, no. I'm old school. Do you have a brochure I can look through, please? Absolutely. I'll post one out. She posted it out with a lovely letter. She's ever such a sweetie, and some samples. And I phoned her up and she said, oh, do you want to order something? And I said, no. Oh. I said, no, I want to join your team.
Oh.
She went, oh my God. So it was another of those synchronicity moments. It came. And what I will say is that for me, the network marketing business module, it suits my erratic behavior. It's something that if I get up and I feel good, I will do something that day. If I, in a period where I've crashed, and I'm not social during those periods, I'll do paperwork. I'll maybe just sit and watch Netflix or whatever it is I want to do. Yeah.
If you want a Sunday afternoon and a Wednesday morning, then so what?
I don't set the prices. I pay exactly the same price as you would for that product. It's a set price. And so therefore, because I know that the company and the products and everything, I have absolute faith in it because of the research and what I've done with it, that I know the prices are really, really fair. So I have no problem with that side of it. So why wouldn't I be happy?
Isn't it good to be happy? I love that you are always smiling. And it's really nice to see that, although you smile on obviously all your social media photos, but it's not fake. It's very clear to all of us to see that you are always smiling and very happy. And then now you're pulling a... Thank you.
No, I will say that there's days where you won't see me anywhere. And those are the days I'm not smiling, but I work with it.
Life is life.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of a song from my youth.
Go on.
But anyway, I'm not going to sing it now. Like, life is life. Na, 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 na.
Oh, yes. I know.
I can't remember the lyrics. Anyway.
I know the one you mean. I'm not going to sing it either.
Caught on something you said a couple of minutes back, that you kept looking for something. So after retirement, did you find yourself bored or... whatever.
Yes.
What made you want to look for something again?
Well, I've been very lucky to move into this absolutely wonderful brand new apartment, and I don't own. I rent, and it's not cheap.
Okay.
So it was a case of my pension. My pension covers the bills, but I've got no extras. So it would have meant no holidays, people giving me money to buy clothes for Christmas and birthdays, things like that. And I thought, I've got the nice environment that's keeping me a lot more stable emotionally, but I want a bit more out of life.
Yeah, and why shouldn't we?
And I'm sat here and I'm getting bored.
I think,
you know, I've got to use my mind. That's the other thing about ADHD as well. You know, you don't really, well, your mind certainly doesn't want to stay still because it can work against you. So I knew that I was, if you like, looking for something, but I didn't know what until this came along. And I just thought, well, it seems as though everything I've done in my life has brought me to this point. You know, I know about doing brochures through letterboxes. I know about doing parties, and I've done the network marketing with the Juice Plus in so much as the online and building teams and things like that. And then I've got the herbal medicine and the nutritional training.
But so you needed something stimulating. But going back a little earlier, were you actually looking forward to retirement?
Everybody was telling me that I should be. You know, look at all this.
Was it retired people telling you that you should be looking forward to retiring, or was it younger people telling you that, oh, you will be out of it, you won't have to work anymore, and you should be looking forward to it? Which party was it? A
little bit of both, really, because I do have friends that are older than me, and they're saying, Jann, you should slow down. You should, you know, you should be sitting at home knitting.
And you went like, no, thank you.
Really?
Mind you, I shouldn't laugh because I used to do a lot of cross stitch, and now I have no time whatsoever. And I'm looking forward to the day, one day, sometime, probably way, way, way down in the future, for one day to sit down again and do some cross stitching.
When I've lost my mobility, then I might be doing that. But I'll be honest with you, I'm an avid reader. I do like to read a lot. So, I think that's my relaxation and being out in nature. And at the moment, so by the way, I take no medication whatsoever. Never have. Well,
do you still take any of your herbal supplements?
Yes.
The Oriflame herbal supplements?
Yes, I do. So I've got fibromyalgia and osteoarthritis. I've had one hip replacement.
Wow.
And I did start with rheumatoid arthritis way back, but I've managed to do it all through diet, nutrition, lifestyle.
But that you are so symptom-free?
Yes.
Because that osteoarthritis is an actual sort of the deformation part, isn't it?
No, the rheumatoid arthritis is the one that you will see it really
crippling.
Yeah. Osteoarthritis, you will get swelling. I mean, I do get pain and stiffness. But again, I'm occasionally, if I'm having a really bad day, I'll take paracetamol, but that's all. Because once you start taking in my humble opinion, because of my herbal background, once you start taking medication, you're going to create a side effect somewhere in your body. So you're going to need another medication that's going to lead to another medication.
But yeah, I know what you mean about that. As I take a medication and then I need to take painkillers and then I need to take something else to compensate for the painkillers. And then somebody told me that actually that can cause whatever issues. And it's like, oh gosh. Yeah.
Maybe you should have come to my herbal clinic years ago.
Is there anything else you would like to desperately tell us about Oriflame and anything related to this business?
Network marketing in general, I do think, in actual fact, we class it as social selling because it's very much recommendation of products with people that you've built a relationship with. So that's how we like to do our business, and I know that lots of network marketing companies are the same. They're not all the same, but some are definitely more about social selling.
Can I come out with another cliche? I might become known as the cliche queen here. People buy from people.
From people, correct.
I did a business course back yonks ago, and the teacher was like, people buy from people. And never mind online, never mind AI and all the rest of it. People will still want interaction with people.
Yeah.
buy from people.
So if it doesn't matter whether you're near retirement or actually at the beginning, like you just had a baby or whatever, or you're in a part-time job and you're not quite sure if it's secure, you want something in the background, anything like that, do have a look at network marketing, but make sure that you do your homework.
Okay.
Make sure that you know it's a good, solid company that's not going to disappear. I'll give you a reason for that. I did join a jewelry firm at one point, but I could tell from what was happening that it wasn't a stable company. So I got out, and I got out before it crashed. Make sure that you connect with somebody you think would be a good mentor.
Because I suppose once you start building a team below you, you have to manage them, you have to mentor them. That's interesting. Yeah, it actually becomes really quite a broad role, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if you're looking round, find somebody with the right products, with the right company that you know will look after you and not treat you as a number to get her more money.
Again,
She'll actually focus on you as that new starter.
Such a profound bit of advice. When you're going into new business, make sure that whoever's going to be mentoring you through that business, and we already touched on mentoring in some ways, is super important, because you have to get the right mindset, you have to get the right advice.
I set on 5 lovely new people, 4 ladies and a man in January.
Okay.
Yeah, in January. So they pay the registration fee and they get the normal thing. It's like your back office, your personal website, all that kind of stuff. But I always go out and see them. I train them personally. It doesn't matter where they live. I take them brochures and I take them products to get them started. And I go back and I do a launch party for them. Now, I've just been up in Durham 3 days last week doing 2 parties for a new starter up there. So she's got off to a great start. I had another lady, I went over to Yorkshire and did her starter party in Yorkshire for her, but she actually lives in Spain. So
Okay.
I'm flying out to Spain at the end of February, and I'm going to go and do 3 parties for her near Benidorm.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I mean, it's not hard work, I can tell you.
Funny enough, I was going to ask you, who pays for all your travel? Do you claim mileage for it? Do you put down mileage as your own business expense? And then who pays for your flight to go to Benidorm to help somebody else?
Right. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've paid for my own flight, but she's putting me up for 5 days. I'm feeding me. I'm having a holiday. I'm doing sightseeing. So I've sort of offset the accounts that way.
Fair enough. The way I put it is, I do it resourcefully. Keeping a very positive wealth mindset. I'm doing it resourcefully rather than I'm doing it on the cheap or on the budget.
I'm investing in people. So I'm doing 3 parties for her. I'm going to talk to probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 of her friends and acquaintances.
In one go or over the 3?
Over 3 days. Yeah. I'm going to introduce them physically to the products. I'm going to, because of my knowledge that she doesn't have yet, it's also a training session for her every time. She's hearing it, she's seeing it. In even the products that the people don't buy there and then, they have familiarity with, so that when I go away, she's got an ongoing business.
Now that Britain is not in the European Union, how does it affect technically selling abroad? Do they have to pay a huge amount of tax on it? Or so when let's say you're going to speak to 30 people and they order up a whole lot of stuff, then you're going to have to send it from the UK, or does it come? Do they are there European bases as well?
Oriflame trade in 60 countries. So each country has their own sort of, I presume, distribution centres and offices and things. So we're in Asia. We're in every country in Europe. We're in India.
Yeah, well, lots of countries.
Yes. So because my lady Joy, she actually lives in Spain. So although she's in effect, she's got a split business. She's got her UK side of the business. She's got her Spanish side of the business. And she can, wherever she is, she can trade there. And so the prices in the brochures include, the country that they're in.
Well, that's really nice. There's quite a bit of flexibility with that then.
It's really easy business to run. It is. And of course, that means that I've now got a business in Spain that will start to flourish once I've been out there.
You can get a free holiday every year.
Oh, that was the other thing I meant to mention. Because you touched on earlier about, is network marketing a pyramid scheme? If you think about network marketing as, let me just see what I've got as a, right.
Back to the bottle of water.
Spider's web. Yeah, think of that as me.
Okay.
Right. And then I join with Joy in Spain.
Right.
And then Joy maybe gets 3 or 4 people in her team. So that's my Spanish web. Yeah. And then in the UK, I've got 20, 30 UK people, and they've all got their little web. Right. So it's a network. And that's why they call it network marketing. So you're building networks, not a pyramid. That's corporate.
Yeah, so it still started with someone, and it's like a rhizome. It's kind of growing exponentially, isn't it?
Yeah. Roots.
Yes. Funny enough, the reason that word came to me was because when I was finishing university, I did a textile degree, and 5 of us set up an artist group called Rhizome, because that was our original idea, that we came together as a pod, as graduating students, and then we thought that next year there'll be another pod that will just come and use the studio that we hired on a different day, and so on. Didn't quite work out that way, but it's still going.
Oh, that's fantastic.
About 9 years on. I left a couple of years back now.
Yeah.
So all the original, but that was the idea, kind of, all the original members have kind of got on with their lives. But Rhizome is still going. So yeah, it's...
you want to know about synchronicity?
Yeah.
Do you know where the herbal medicine degree course is at Lincoln?
Yeah.
It's at the Rhizome College.
Okay. We've got a little word link there between us. So just touching back on business a little bit. So obviously you've told me quite a bit about how you are under somebody else who mentored you, and now you are building other people under you who you mentor, and so on. So it sounds like that the mentoring system is very much built into the network marketing.
Yes, and we get a lot of training to help us with that.
Yeah.
Not everybody that comes into network marketing will build a team.
Okay.
It's just for the people that want to.
Okay. What I was specifically going to ask about was, so if we take you as a sole trader, because you said it is your own business. So are you a sole trader? Do you ever get to set your own business up as a limited company? How does it work?
I guess some of them do, because there's like people who have beauty studios and things that have already got an existing business that will have this as an add-on.
Yes.
And they might be a limited company.
What kind of business support do you require to run this new business?
No, because it's all built in. We get mindset training, we get nurturing, we get motivational seminars, we get we're given reading lists if we want to read to develop things. And certainly the business model side of it is very, very much passed on.
Now, just again, to go back to listeners who are thinking about setting up a new business, I think even if people choose a business where it's not, where you're buying into something like an existing company like you've done, where you receive a lot of mentoring and mindset support, but I think by listing all of these bits of support that you get, at least it gives indication to people that, okay, when I set up my own business, I need to think about
Oh, absolutely.
where
Yeah.
my mindset is, think about getting a mentor to help me, to guide me the right way. And what else have you mentioned?
Motivation,
Yeah.
because every business will fluctuate through ups and downs. So it doesn't matter what kind of business. You need somebody, a coach or a mentor of some sort, that's going to help to motivate you and to help you see that bad times are not necessarily your fault. It might just be the time of year or what's happening in the government or whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of coaching.
Does that coaching actually guide you through how to prepare for the bad times?
Coaches are specific, and they'll have an ideal client that they work with. So, like, say, for instance, menopause. If you're starting a new business and you hit the menopause at the same time, that can be quite traumatic. So if you
tell me about it.
Coach that understands that.
Yeah, going through what's it called? Brain fog.
Yeah.
I didn't even plan that. But yeah. Before last, I suffered terribly with brain fog. It seems to me that I might have kind of got through it quite a fair bit, which would be good because, I could be sitting here completely blank about questions, which happens occasionally, I must admit, but not quite as bad as it was about a year or a bit ago. But yeah, I absolutely know what you mean. When something happens in your life, you kind of need to be, obviously you can't be prepared, but at least mentally be prepared that things will happen or not happen, and you still have to carry on.
Yeah, and to not feel guilty about things. Things are not always your fault.
Yeah, it's if it's an external force and you can't do anything about it. Or somebody, I took part in a little few-day challenge recently with a friend, and 3 C's. So did you create it? No, let it go. Can you change it? And I can't remember the third one right this minute. But you get my drift.
Yes, yeah.
It can make a difference if it's your fault and you can do something about it. Do. If you can't,
maybe compromise was the third one.
Can't remember. I wrote it down, but it was funny enough. That third one was what she couldn't remember either. So, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience about yourself, your business, or specifically any business advice to anyone who is starting a new business?
Don't think you should do it on your own.
Okay.
Get advice, get help wherever you can, get mentorship wherever you can. And even if you are a sole trader, still be open to help.
Absolutely.
And you're more likely to become successful earlier by doing that, because everybody has to have an initial phase where,
But it's just battling through it, yeah.
In terms of if you want something fun, but would also be a business, then look at, network marketing.
Okay.
Find something that you really align with. And I have to say, ladies, what is awful about skincare and perfume and makeup, and I just get to play. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Sneaking in a little sales pitch there. Very sleek.
It's lovely.
Very sleek.
And I am looking for business partners all over. So even if it's in Europe or wherever, and I would obviously go over and above to mentor you and get you the right support.
That's beautiful, you're offering that support. Would you have any specific recommendations for those who are starting a new business in later life, over 50, 60, 70, 80, 90?
90. Again, think about reflection on your life. Find out what were you good at. It might not have worked out at the time, you know, life comes along, babies, divorces, whatever. But what are you naturally good at? And then look at your life at that current point. So for instance, for me, I found myself living on my own in a lovely flat, but I could have become isolated. I wanted something that would also open up my social life and get me seeing people again. So look at what your needs are, not just financial needs, if you see what I mean. And then
that's very interesting.
What will light you up? Because I've got a new lease of life. You know,
beautiful.
Honestly,
I just refer back to your pictures on social media. There you go. That smile is just amazing, and you're glowing. It's wonderful.
But that will happen to anybody that gets that opportunity to work with something they're passionate about. And then that will shine through, and then people will get to know, like, and trust them and buy from them, and they will be successful in whatever they start out. But just don't isolate yourself.
So I will round off with a few quick-fire questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a rhetorical question, really, but are you thinking about retiring anytime soon?
Let's just say I've bought a new car this week, and so my mindset was a new car.
New car, okay.
And my mindset was it needs to be able to work for the next 15 years because that's how long I plan to be in work.
Okay. So retiring, no. That was a very distinct, definite no. Okay, so that will take you to 85, blimey. I wish you very, very good 86. Health for that long working life. The next question is, would you consider setting up a new business?
No, I've got exactly what I want, where I want, and it just fits. Yeah. So, and it doesn't feel like work. So,
I'm so super pleased for you. And now, just a couple of support questions still for our listeners. You did mention that you get books recommended, but also that you have read or perhaps listened to books. Is there anything that really sticks out that you think would be very helpful for people starting up a new business, any kind of new business?
In my case, the books that I read are specific for, hang on a second. Lisa Johnson.
Okay, I know her.
I did her course One to Many. She's written a book, and I think that's a good book to read for general. I've just ordered one. Do you
remember the title? I literally came across a post from her about this book the other day, but I can't remember the title.
I can't, but I'm sure if you go on Amazon and put her name in, the book will come up.
Has she only written one book?
The one that I've just ordered is Energetic Selling and Marketing, A New Way to Create Extraordinary Business by Lenka Lutonska. Because I am quite spiritual as well. Okay. And sometimes selling doesn't sit right with somebody that is spiritual, if you like.
It's problem solving, isn't it?
So yes, exactly.
Telling you offer the problem solving to people, and I think, okay, this could help me, and then they go and buy.
So I'm looking forward to reading this because it's energetic selling, so it brings in another dimension, if you like.
Thank you very much for your recommendation. Well, Jann, I think we got to the end of our interview, so I would like to thank you for coming along to the show. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have, thank you. You've made me feel very relaxed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really pleased. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hope to speak to you soon.
Hope so too. Take care.
Bye.